What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank, and today we're going to talk about a very serious topic I believe, within the black community. I don't know if this happens in the white community or Spanish or Asian community, but I know it's something that I hear a lot about in the black community, especially the Caribbean community, the black Caribbean community, and that's the relationship between mothers and their daughters. Mothers and their daughters, and even mothers and their daughters and their grandmothers. For some reason, in the black, and I know this happens in Africa too, for some reason the black woman have a hard time connecting properly with their daughters or their granddaughters, and it always seems to be some sort of, not in all cases obviously, right, but enough to be noticed, that there's a lot of toxicity within the family when it comes to the dynamics between the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter. And I've seen it in my own family, where the grandmama and the mother don't quite get along. They butt heads all the time, right? Throughout their entire life, for various different reasons. And they may go long stretches without talking to each other. And then it takes the family to get them together, then they'll fix it. And then something happened and it breaks up again. It seems like the same underlying issues seem to be the reason why they can't just stick together. And I think that sometimes it has to do with them being so similar, right? Strong-willed females, they got no cut cards, no filter. I think the side effect of that, the drawback of that, is that sometimes when you run into somebody that's just like you, and you approach them with aggression, if they just like you, they're going to respond the same way you would, with aggression, right? But if you got two people who are being aggressive towards each other, right, especially when you talk about a mother-daughter dynamic, the mother automatically is going to be like, well, I'm the mother, right? Then you got the daughter that's like, well, I'm grown. I'm not a baby anymore. Right, so you got two different egos coming from two different angles, right? One who has the permanent authority of mother, the other one who's trying to break away and be their own woman, especially when they become a mother, and then they're a mother, right? So they have a child that they are responsible for, and so now they see themselves, equal or whatnot, or they feel like their mother, once they become grown, their mother no longer has that authority they once had. I don't see that same dynamic with fathers and sons, right? Fathers and sons in the black community tend to get along, right? A father, if they have issues with their sons, right? The son grows up, he's got testosterone. A father tends to understand that, right? And allows that son to go off and be that man that, he knows that son is just a version of him, right? So he expects it. It's to be expected. There's measurements there, and a son will respect his father, right? Knowing that, he may be older and not as strong and powerful as he once was, because age, comes for everybody, but there's still a level of respect because he knows one day he's going to be there, right? But when it comes to the mother dynamic, there's a lot of toxicity within our families. I figure there's got to be a way for us to fix this. We got to at least talk about it, because it's consistent, because as me being in Africa, I see the same dynamics with the mothers over there. When I go to the Caribbean, and I have a lot of Caribbean friends, I see the same dynamics between the mothers and the daughters over there. And as an African American, with an African American family, I see the same dynamics. So I see it's consistent amongst black people when it comes to the relationship with the mothers and daughters and granddaughters. And this lady who I'm going to present to you, she's going to be speaking about a toxicity between her and her grandmama, right? And it has to do with her grandmama and her mother and the relationship between all three of them. And it's a very sad thing, and how mean our women can be with each other. The people that's supposed to be the closest to us, how mean and heartless a black woman can be to their child, or to their grandchild, or to their mother, or to their grandmother. The level of the heartlessness, right? Even if it's just the passion of the moment. Sometimes you got to remember, man, the conversations you have with your family members could possibly be the last. And you got to always think about that. You got to think that, man, this could be the last conversation I ever have with my mother. This could be the last conversation I ever have with my grandmother. So when you leave that conversation, you shouldn't leave after dropping atomic bombs and just leaving it to fester, because you know it could be the last thing you ever did, you know. And people feel terrible when the last thing that they did and said to a person was the most evil thing they can say, when truly in their heart they really didn't feel that way, or somewhere in their heart they did. There was love there. They just wanted to make that person feel the same way that person made them feel. And that's always the case, right? Black women like to make other people feel the way that other people make them feel in order for them to understand the feelings involved. And the way they do that sometimes can be in the harshest way possible. And sometimes, like I say, sometimes you can't take it back, you know, because it's too late. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this dynamic in the comment section. All right, it's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
My grandmother showed up to my baby shower today after not seeing me in probably 10, 11 months, closer to a year. And I smiled, said, hey. And the very first thing she said was, I don't love you. And I know you're probably thinking she was just kidding. She was not just kidding. She was not kidding at all. In that moment, I actually thought like maybe I'm being like pranked. No, I wasn't. I was like, excuse me? Like, huh? She repeated it that she did not love me. She went down a list of some other stuff. Like I said, we haven't talked. Whenever I try to establish a relationship with my mother, which is her daughter, our relationship always falls apart. Meaning, I cannot talk to my biological mother and have a relationship with my grandmother, which is her mother, because those two don't even like each other, right? And I tried to mend the relationship with my mom last year, and my grandmother fell off the face of the earth. She was being very passive aggressive, and we just kind of both stopped talking. Wasn't an argument, but it was the same old of, if you talk to your mother, basically don't talk to me. And that's what happened. But as I was talking to my uncle's wife today, just kind of came up in conversation about my grandmother. And I was like, I wouldn't mind if she was here. I wouldn't even care. Today's a day of love, right? And I guess to surprise me, my uncle's wife, she did reach out to her and basically let her know, like, hey, do you want to come up here? And she came with nothing, no gifts, nothing at all, not even a card, and literally told me to my face that she did not love me. I didn't initially cry. It probably took about 15 minutes before I actually cried about it at my baby shower. Not very fun. There were so many people there, and it was just not something that I wanted to do. So I quickly pulled myself together. But today just made me realize it didn't ruin my day. She did not ruin my day. She did not ruin my day. Let me make that very clear. I did not let her have my moment today. But I will say that today was like the realization of, like, you know, my mother's side of the family is a certain kind of way. There's nothing I can do about it. And I was the one, I'm the one that is meant to break that curse. I cannot fix anybody that has any problems on that side of my family. I cannot fix them. I can try to do as much healing as I want to. That's only for myself. It doesn't do anything for that side of the family. And I'm not speaking about everybody on that side of the family, but unfortunately, I really don't have much support. Like, my uncle came. Like, that was the person that came for me from my mother's side of the family, which is my mother's little brother and his wife. So I really appreciate that. I love my uncle so much. But a majority of the people at my baby shower, outside of my father's family, like my aunts and my cousins, which love them dearly, it was for my husband. Those were my husband's family members, whom I love dearly, and a lot of his mother's friends, and they showed out. I'm so thankful for them. But some people will never change, and it doesn't matter how old they are. It doesn't matter even if they're in their 70s. Doesn't matter how much they go to church. Doesn't matter how active in church they are. This is who they are, and they will not change. If you have a family member that is toxic like that, mother, grandmother, move on. Move on. I still can't believe that the first thing she said out her mouth was, "I don't love you." Not congratulations, not I'm happy to see you. She wanted to let me know. She wanted to ruin my day. Is to let me know, I'm here, I just came, but I came to tell you that I don't love you. Didn't want to eat any food, didn't want to talk to anybody. Extremely nasty. And she ended up leaving after my husband had a few choice words for her. Still can't believe it, but it did not ruin my day. But I now know that, like, that is what it is. That'll probably be the last words that I ever hear from my grandmother, that I'll remember, is that she doesn't love me. Cool.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Wait. Before you go, for all my subscribers and philanthropists out there, I'm building a solar power community water bowl system in Nigeria. It's going to cost between $5,000 and $6,000. I'm trying to raise money. If you want to participate and help me build this solar power water system, please donate to the Cash App and put solar water in the notes. Solar water in the notes. I'll put PayPal, Stripe, and Zelle. Anyway, thank you. That's all I got to say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out. Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.